SketchUp name tag. We're going to use SketchUp to design a name tag that we're going to print on our 3D printers. Now, if you made one in the past, please make sure you're looking at these instructions because you need to remake a name tag. Last year's will not work. So there is a tutorial. We'll direct you to the tutorial, but also I'm going to create a screencast because some of the tools have changed and some students will get a little confused. And also our tag is going to be 1 inch by 2 inch. And in the tutorial, the one they make is like 10 feet by 20 feet, which cannot be printed on our 3D printers, obviously. We're going to delete the human, which they don't do in the tutorial. And then you're welcome to put whatever text you want on it. You're going to make the whole 1/4 of an inch because we have carabiner clips that you're going to get with your printed name tag so you can clip on something like your backpack. And in order to print it, not only do we need the SKP file, which you will be creating as you go, you have to download an STL file so we can print it. So you'll be turning in 2 files to Classroom. All right, so since we're in Classroom and it has the app grid in the top right, we're going to go over there and make sure that we have SketchUp installed. So if you've used SketchUp in your school account before, it's probably installed. You would find it here. If you don't see it, you need to go to the Google Workspace right at the bottom and find SketchUp. Sometimes you'll see it on your recommended screen. Otherwise, just start typing in SketchUp. And by the time you get to the E, you'll see it. And there it is because so many people use it. We'll click on that. And when we get to the extension screen, I have uninstall, which tells me again that it was already installed. But if you have the blue install button, you're going to click on install, follow the prompts, click allows and approves and yeses and dones. And that way, when you come back, you can close the screen when you're done and you come back to Classroom. I recommend that you refresh your screen because this time, if you reopen the Google Apps, you will find SketchUp down there. Now you can get to SketchUp from Clever, but if you don't have it installed, when you try to log in, you're going to get caught in this login loop or you're going to get an error that you don't have an account. I'm going to click on SketchUp for School since I'm right here. I'll have to log in with my school Google account. And when I land on the home page, I know that it worked. And there it is. Okay, so if you want Google's tutorial, go to the curriculum menu on the left, scroll down until you find name tag and click Start Modeling. Once you're in, you're going to see a floating video. Now back in Classroom, so there's the floating video. Warning, if you close that, even on accident, you can't get it back without restarting the tutorial. And we know that kids get frustrated when that happens. So back in Classroom, you'll notice along with the instructions, you have a Google Slides version and a direct link to that video via YouTube. So I'm actually not going to use the tutorial. And I'm going to walk you through it just because, as I said before, some of the tools have changed. So if you remember in the instructions, it says, please get rid of the notable STEM historian or historical figure, whether it's in science, technology, engineering, math. That was somebody famous. And you can look up who it is. Now, the other issue we have is if we start to draw a rectangle right now, we are so far away, it's going to be house-sized. It's going to be 10 or 20 feet by 30 feet. That is way too big. Speaking of feet, a couple of things you might want to do before you take off and get too far is go up to the top left menu under App Settings and check 2 things. Navigation. If I have a mouse plugged in, I want this set to mouse. If I'm using my trackpad on my Chromebook or some other device, I want it set to trackpad. That way the zoom function works the way it's supposed to. Back to general, I want to make sure that my default template or my units are in standard, which is either feet or inches. Either one of them will work. But we want to stay away from the metric. Even though the metric system's wonderful, in this case, 1 inches by 2 inches is the right size. 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters is not. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. On my mouse, I do that with the scroll wheel. And then I'm going to use my first tool in the menu on the left, the pan tool. It's shortcut, keyboard shortcut H. I'm going to scroll and slide over and scroll and slide over until I get a little bit closer to the axis, the origin. And now I'm going to head on the left side and grab the rectangle tool. Okay, you can try this next part. I'm not sure it's going to work. On mine, it doesn't very often. But if I just click, I don't click and drag, I just click. Okay? And then I type in 1 double quotation, because that's inches, comma, 2 double quotation, that's also inches. So this should make a rectangle that's 1 inch by 2 inch. And if I hit the enter button on your computer, it might just automatically make that rectangle. But unfortunately, it seems like when I do that, it doesn't work. So there's probably some setting or something I'm not doing right. So I'm going to manually click and drag. And in the bottom right corner, I am watching those dimensions, and I'm going to get it as close to 1 inch by 2 inch that I can. So there's 1 inch wide. I just need it longer. There it is, 2 inch by 1 inch. Perfect. Again, you just need to be close. Okay, I'm going to go back to the left, and I'm going to grab the rotation tool, which is the arrow around the axis, because I want to look at this a little bit more from the side, and a little bit below. Okay, in the tutorial, the next thing they have us do is use the push-pull tool, keyboard shortcut P, or you can go click on it, to lift up and give this some thickness. Again, watch the dimensions. You want to keep it under 1/4 of an inch. So right now it's at 1/8 of an inch. That's not too bad. 3/16, a little thicker if you like yours a little bit thicker, but I'll go with 1/8 of an inch right now. And then I'm going to hop over to the left side again and switch tools. I'm going to round off the corners. Actually, I'm going to rotate this a little bit so I can see a little bit better. I'm going to get more of a top view here. Okay. And then on the left, I need the 2-point axis tool, and I don't see it. So in the new menu bar, the bottom left has 3 dots. If you click on that, you get all the tools in one place. So there's the 2-point arc. And what I'm going to do is draw an arc on each corner. So I'm going to find an edge a little bit back from the corner and click on it. And then I'm going to go to the other edge and click on it. And now I have to click a 3rd time to round it off. And to do that, I'm going to follow that edge back about halfway to the corner till I see another little block, and I'm going to click, and that's going to round it off. And I'm going to do that to each of my corners. Edge click, slide back to the corner. So there's 3 clicks involved. 1 click on one edge, another click on another edge, slide it back, click again back towards the corner. Okay, and then click 1, click 2, slide back to the corner, click 3. And now, if I rotate it over the top, you can see that there are the little sections ready to cut out. Now I'm going to rotate this again just a little bit, and I'm going to head over to my push-pull tool again, and I'm going to grab just those little triangles. Notice right now the little dots on just that section, and I know I've got it right when I pull down to the very bottom and it disappears. So I'm going to pull each corner until it's gone. I need my rotation tool again. I'm going to spin it around to the other side. Push-pull tool, grab just the corner, and remove it. So there we go. Spin it back around. And I need a little bit of a top view, because the next thing I'm going to do is give it a little beveled edge. And to do that, I'm going to use what's called the offset tool. So I'm going to come over here and find this offset tool. And I'm going to grab the outer edge and drag in just a little bit. And how far is up to you. I just like a thin little edge wall. And then I'm going to go to my push-pull tool again. And I'm going to drop in a little crater in the middle. And then I'm going to rotate more to the top, because my next step is to make a circle that we're going to use to make the hole to clip the name tag on with. So I need a circle tool. So over here I grab the circle tool, and I come in here somewhere near a side, and I click and drag. I want the diameter to be 1/4 of an inch, which means the radius, the middle to the edge, is half that, or 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to click and drag out, and I'm watching my dimensions in the bottom right corner until it hits 1/8 of an inch. And there I have a perfect size circle to cut out. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is rotate this up a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to grab my push-pull tool again, and I'm going to click until just the circle's patterned, the little dots. And then I'm going to drag down, and the key here is to drag down until I hit an edge. Now you see that right there where that little box popped up? It says on the edge. That's when I'm going to let go. Because what it did is it lined up the bottom of that circle with the bottom edge of the name tag. And when I rotate this, you'll see that there's a hole through it. Now this is where people make mistakes. If you don't line it up with the edge, what it's going to do is it's going to delete the whole inside bottom, and it's going to make your name tag hollow, and then it can't print it. Okay, so right there is a beautiful tag. The only thing left to do is put words on the top. Now I will tell you, no matter how many times I do this, it can be kind of a pain. So I need to find the letters, okay, right there, the 3D text, and I can put whatever I want on it. Now, if you're going to make more than one line of text, you need to do it here. You need to put word on top and then another word below it. I'm just going to use a single word. I'm just going to put CTE on there. Now, the height it has right now is 1 foot. I don't want my text to be 1 foot tall. I'm actually going to make it about an inch, and I'll show you why in a second. I'm going to bring this one here down to about an inch as well, and click OK, because I know the words are really big, but I'm going to rescale them. This way I can show you the scale tool, because if something's the wrong size, you can do something about it. You can use over here this scale tool, and it's the keyboard shortcut S. And what it does is it outlines the entire object and then gives you some blocks to pull from. All right, so now I'm going to use the scale tool to rescale this. I'm going to grab this diagonal tool, and I'm going to slide this down a little bit more until it's just sticking up, kind of like the beveled edge. I'm going to rotate this a little bit and go, oh, this is way higher than I like it. I'm going to pull that in a little bit. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll make it a little bit wider. Let's rotate that from the top and see. Okay, so I've got the word CTE. As I rotate them sideways, I can see them stick up a little bit. Hey, that's going to look pretty good. So I'm going to make sure I save this. I'm going to purge all the extra junk out. I'm going to save it in my drive. I actually have a SketchUp folder made, but you don't have to. You can save it wherever you want. Okay, this is the name tag, and I might put my name on the end of it just in case. I save it. But remember, the other thing I have to do is come over here to download STL, and I need to download the STL. So mine's going to save to my downloads folder, and then when I come back to classroom, okay, now I'm a teacher, I can't add an assignment, show you how to do that. But remember, when you go into view instructions, you're going to click add from Google Drive, and you'll attach your SKP, and then you'll add again. And if you have your download set to Drive, you'll also see your STL in your Drive. If you have your download set to download on your Chromebook, you'll have to do the upload option. You'll have to choose File, Upload, and find the STL in your downloads on your Chromebook, and then turn it in. And that way I can see what your name tag looks like, and I can also add it to the printer to be printed later.